Good afternoon, all. At the outset, I would like to thank the organizing committee, that is ITHRA Engineering, for giving us the opportunity to be a participant in the esteemed forum, that is SmartCon 2020, which is supported by Saudi Council of Engineers and sponsored by Sadara. Before I start this technical information sharing session, I would like to thank my company, which is Saudi Aramco, which I represent, to provide me the valuable guidance and support to go about into this maintenance technologies implementation program. That being said, I would also take this opportunity to thank my guide, my mentor, Salem Bargan, for mentoring and paving the path forward for deploying the latest maintenance technologies. I also thank all Saudi Aramco and Corporate Maintenance Services Department, where I belong to, for lending me the support for realizing this dream. So team, the topic of today's discussion, what we have chosen is selecting the right mix of maintenance technologies and which can lead the way towards maintenance reliability excellence. The slide here shows a very famous quote by none other than Albert Einstein. And the intent is the approach for problem solving has to be different. It has to be totally aloof, as if we have created a problem. Solving approach has to be just an opposite. If we use the same approach, problem solving will always be easier. Keeping that thought in mind, let us start our discussion for why maintenance technologies are needed. What is the significance of those maintenance technologies and tools we think of? The objective is to maximize the assets reliability, availability, and maintainability, particular to be said RAM, with an aim for long-term sustainability of those best-in-class reliability and availability models. That being said, what is the driver behind realizing that objective? So we should be thinking about the high-level challenges, what can be there. So those maintenance challenges can be any. There are plenty of challenges as we speak about. But just to make a high-level thought process, just to initiate our thought process, I have listed down few of the major challenges, however not limited to, as in the slide shown. The challenges can be lower availability. Availability is a factor of mean time between failure and mean time to repair. In the earlier presentations, Dr. Mishari and the presentation just before me, Mr. Nazi, they have specifically touched on the importance of MTBF and mean time to repair. Mean time to repair, that means it is very closely connected with the rinse time, what Mr. Nazi was telling. Mean time between failure was beautifully explained by Dr. Mishari, who is expert in his own field, having more than 30 years of experience. That being said, lower availability is one of the prime challenges when it comes to maintenance technologies deployment of significance. Higher maintenance expenditure is one of the other prime factors which also make our attention grow further, how to decrease those maintenance expenditure as a challenge, as a pain point. When we talk about master data governance, yesterday, one of our gentlemen was discussing about master data and taxonomy. How to make the record keeping equipment history intact. That is also a pain point for many of the maintenance engineers like us. Last but not the least, for this particular challenge items, knowledge transfer and experience sharing is one of the pain points. Dear team, I would like to share you with a figure. When we did a study recently within our own country, we are stating here, we found out that almost more than 50% of the workforce are less than 30 years of age. That means they have less years of experience, and majority of the chunk are to the age of 50 plus. And when they are on the verge of retiring, there would be a big knowledge gap. So this is a major challenge what we are going to face in near future. Knowledge transfer, experience sharing. That being said, challenges being seen, what are the opportunities which we can leverage to mitigate those challenges straight away? As we speak of opportunities, there are plenty of opportunities available worldwide. But just to mention high level and mitigate one-to-one challenges shown in the slide, one can be maintenance solutions. Either it can be in the form of data analytics. Another opportunity can be use of predictive tools, prediction tools, failure diagnostic tools, which can help us mitigate higher maintenance expenditure. The third can be optimum utilization of CMS system. For that matter, SAP, Infor, Maximo, etc. That being said, after the opportunities of CMS utilization, allow me, gentlemen. When we discussed about the opportunity of SAP utilization, I mean CMS utilization, another opportunity is utilization of augmented reality and virtual reality systems. This AR and VR system is a perfect epitome of success when it comes to mitigating knowledge transfer and experience sharing. After we have thought and after we have given a thought over challenges and available opportunities, our focus goes into scope and focus areas where we can think we can adopt those maintenance technologies. First and foremost can be maintenance reliability tools and systems. It can be P&I optimization technologies, turnarounds. It can be asset management systems. It can be predictive analytic tools, failure diagnostic tools. And last but not the least, the knowledge transfer and data management systems. After we have come up with the scope of areas, we need to know that what are the ways we have to embrace which can lead to maintenance technologies adoption. The process can be based on waterfall methodology. The first step would be identification of the maintenance challenge. Further, once we have identified the challenge, we need to scout for solutions. Solutions can be anything. It can be a cultural improvement step. It can be a best practice improvement. Technology can also be a one particular mitigation measure, which can be a solution to mitigate that particular challenge. Once we come across for a particular technology as a solution, we need to do a pilot or to do a proof of concept, whether the applicability is correct and we are getting the correct ROI on that technology. Once the pilot is successful, we need to adopt as a long form strategy. That is, it has to be deployed further. With this process, based on waterfall methodology, we are sure that we are going to increase our productivity, enhance reliability, improve profitability, and last but not the least, safety would be there in all these steps taken forward. Further building on, for an example, for you to understand, we have taken an example of a rotating machinery, say a pump. What can be the challenges? So that we can start the thinking. So challenges can be many. Just as a high level challenge, it can be a reliability issue. How reliability issues can be there? Lower equipment availability, lower mean time to between failure, lower high mean time to repair, and so forth. When we think of other maintenance challenge, it can be high maintenance expenditure. It can be due to high MTTR. It can be due to reactive maintenance. On a very high level, knowledge gaps can also be a challenge. It can be operational issues. It can be maintainability issues. It can be experience sharing issues. So these are the high level challenges, say for a pump. And how to go about mitigating this challenge? There can be a number of solutions for this. It can be a maintenance technology. It can be an operational and maintenance best practices. It can be culture improvement. If we see a maintenance technology as a mitigation method, we need to evaluate, pilot or proof of concept, and then deploy it. Deployment means we are adopting it as a long-term strategy. And that being said, those maintenance technologies can be formed under these shown 5 different types of maintenance technologies. When we talk about different 5 maintenance technologies, I mean the classification, what we broadly classify, however not limited to, very high level classification. The primary classification has been driven based on these industrial revolution stages. I mean, we started industrial revolution 1, it was a steam driven engine. So from IR 1.0, we are today at IR 4.0. So primary classification is into 5 types of maintenance approaches. The first approach was very primitive, which is reactive maintenance approach. Reactive technology can be considered as a tool which is used in order to restore the equipment into its normal operating condition. That is to say, equipment has gone into breakdown, and we are applying that tool or a system or a technology to restore it to its normal operating conditions. The second classification type after reactive comes preventive. That being said, preventive technology or system means that it is being used to maintain that equipment while the equipment is in a working condition. I would like to share a very important findings according to a study of Office of Energy and Renewable Efficiency organization. 12 to 18% of savings over reactive strategy can be achieved if we are managing our preventive technologies effectively. Such a huge impact of preventive. So we have gone from reactive approach to preventive approach. However, in my later slides, I will be telling you we should have a right mix. But first of all, this approach has shifted now from reactive to preventive. The next approach would be, I would like you be guessing, it is a predictive approach. Predictive approach or predictive technology can be a technique to predict a future failure point. I would like to take your attention towards the probability and failure curve, which is called as PF curve. PF curve has a point where failure starts, a kickstart point, and then after certain time of time elapse, it fails. Equipment fails. So if we come to know with some predictive technique about that failure point which has started, we can elongate the time happening between the failure of that equipment and the failure start point. For example, vibration monitoring. Vibration monitoring device, through their spike energy measurement, it can tell that, oh, bearing has started getting damaged. I mean, damage has started, but we can elongate the working condition if we are taking suitable measures. I would like to take your attention, team, about a very interesting fact by NASA. It was released lately that we have a value potential of 50% to save between reactive and preventive. I mean, if you use predictive maintenance correctly, we have a value potential to save 50% of the cost. This is the impact of predictive maintenance technologies. The fourth step for kind of maintenance technology is proactive. I had been taking these kind of sessions quite a while now, and it was very hard to me to justify what is the difference between proactive and predictive and preventive. There's a very thin hairline difference between proactive and predictive and preventive for that matter. If I'll not be wrong to say, if we combine preventive and predictive to a certain extent, it can become a proactive approach. Proactive approach or proactive maintenance technology can be, which focuses on controlling the issues that are leading to wear and tear. It is not like only pinpointing the root cause and attending to it. It is focusing on all around the cause. I'll give an example. So bearing failed due to bearing damage. And we did the RC and we found the bearing was damaged and the pump tripped and there was a breakdown. But proactive maintenance technology will help us to find out all the controlling parameters, say utilizing RCM to find out, say, what can cause bearing damage. Maybe lube oil level, it can be low, it can be high, excess. It can be due to, say, bearing damage can be due to misalignment. It can be due to certain other parameters. So this will give us set of technologies, or one technology having different functions like APM or like RCM or like utilizing fracas, and this will give us a proactive maintenance technology approach or maintenance tools which we can use to control the issues from happening itself. I mean, failures will not happen even for the same cause. This is the proactive technologies. Last but not the least, going into the current state, which is called as prescriptive maintenance technologies. Prescriptive word comes from prescription, which is a doctor's advice. So the system or a technology or a tool which uses advanced analytics to make predictions about maintenance. Ladies and gentlemen, we have terabytes of data of maintenance history, of maintenance data points, process points. Utilizing that analytics capability and predict about maintenance, how we can emphasize that our workability, maintainability is improved. That classified maintenance technology is called as prescriptive maintenance technology. I'll give an example just to brief these approaches so that we are able to correlate what tool conforms to what. A sample case of rotating machinery is here. Say a reactive maintenance technology can be a bearing puller, it can be a bearing heater, it can be torque tightening, it can be laser alignment, it can be workshop tools. That being said, equipment is under breakdown, and we are trying to reduce the mean time to repair, the range time, as Mr. Nazi said. We go into the second step. It is preventive or predictive maintenance. It can be like use of thermography, IR, it can be vibration monitoring, it can be noise detection, it can be acoustic cleaning. These are predictive or preventive maintenance technologies. We go further deep dive into proactive maintenance technologies. As we saw in the previous slide, it can be asset performance management, it can be comprehensive lubrication analysis, it can be FRECAS, it can be RCM technique, which can be a part of proactive maintenance technologies. As we speak about prescriptive maintenance technology, which fits very pertinently into IR 4.0 theme, which is our digital transformation era. And we have so many techniques for data analytics. We name it and we have it, like machine learning, cloud computing, big data, use of augmented reality, mixed reality, virtual reality systems. I, as a professional, as a maintenance professional, I would like to give you a heads up about what all techniques we can use for as a maintenance technology. Using RPA, that is robotic process automation, or chatbots. This is going to reduce the time spent on repetitive maintenance activities. Use of operational analytics to develop utilizing DevOps, mobility apps, to optimize our maintenance processes. One aspect is use of robots, UAVs. Additive manufacturing is one of the key elements which is coming very soon, utilizing 3D printing for spares management. I still remember in my old days, in my career of 15 years, my boss used to tell me the best engineer is the engineer who has the control on spares management. So this 3D printing will help us to mitigate that challenge of spares management. We can reduce the lead time. We can prepare those items which are not that highly intricate to prepare, and having a high lead time. Last but not the least, blockchain can also be a technology which can be used for eliminating the lacuna in our maintenance processes, interacting with OEM, doing invoicing, doing finance modules. So these broad, however not limited to, technologies are parked under prescriptive technologies per se. Talking about the right mix of maintenance technologies, the slide shows a typical selection, a typical percentage of those maintenance technologies which we can practice. However, this is not exact, we say. So once we talk about those technologies, we can have a right mix. As I stated earlier, even if we have all these state-of-art preventive, predictive, proactive, or prescriptive technologies, we cannot eliminate the chance of a failure. Failure can happen anytime.
Mr. Mersha, 5 minutes, then we will take the answers. Just a reminder.
Thank you, Khalid. So as I said, we need to be prepared as a maintenance and reliability engineers or technicians that equipment may break down at any point of time. So we should have a ready-made set of tools which are expected to be used to reduce that MTTR, to restore the equipment as soon as possible to the site to deliver its optimum function. So those reactive maintenance technologies are to be needed. We can say a ballpark figure of 10%. If we said there are total 100 technologies, 100 tools available, we can take a safe figure of 10 tools which can cater to the need of breakdown maintenance, reactive maintenance, corrective maintenance. That being said, what is an optimum percentage of maintenance tools or technologies good to have as a representative selection in our working area? It can be 25 to 35% preventive maintenance tools we can have. As I earlier stated, say 100 tools and technologies you have, 10 you have parked for reactive. So you say 25 to 35 are for preventive. That being said, equipment is still in working condition. We are monitoring the equipment for its smooth working and meeting the expected performance characteristic, functional standards. The balance is around 45 to 55%. that can be taken care by predictive and also proactive. In this slide, I have deliberately not mentioned proactive and prescriptive because they are still getting mature and there are not best in class or benchmark standards already available in the market. So we say that a right mix of maintenance technologies can be have an optimum selection of reactive maintenance tools, also preventive maintenance tools, and have sufficient tools which can proactively predict your future point of failures. And you start using available cloud computing tools, analytical tools, which can help us predict future failures and eliminate them for all. This is one of my last slides as an example for a pump. As I said that we have to have a right mix of maintenance technologies, I would like to tell you an example so that we have a good thought process that what all technologies we can think of as a good to have. So as an example for a pump, reactive maintenance technologies as shown in the slide should be there, like laser alignment, bearing puller, heater, bearing fitment toolkit, which will help effectively and to the best possible effort, and in time we can bring back the equipment. Lube oil centrifuge can be one to improve the quality of oil, to remove water, to remove particles, which is not required. After reactive, we go to preventive. Preventive maintenance technologies can be a 3D oil side glass, which only shows you oil level, clear oil level. I mean, earlier it were 2D oil side glass, which used to become hazy with foam. So 3D oil side glass gives you a correct picture whether it is low oil or more oil. 3D oil side glass can be a preventive tool. Temperature gun can be effectively used by the technicians or the crafts or engineers particularly to monitor as a preventive technology effort. Going to predictive technologies, for example, as a pump, we can use vibration monitoring, IR thermography as some of the tools good to have for pump predictive maintenance technologies. As a proactive maintenance technologies to be used, ultrasound leak detection can be one of them, or lube oil analysis. Comprehensive lube oil analysis can be also one of the proactive technologies which we can use for maintaining a right mix of technologies as a pump. Last but not the least, asset predictive analytics, APA, can be used, which uses data, big data, including the operating data, maintenance data, and which can help us predict any future maintenance failure or any future issues which can come up. And we can take action timely and accordingly to mitigate that challenge. So, ladies and gentlemen, these are the go-to-have technologies, particularly for pumps, which can be categorized into specified classification of maintenance technologies, all 5. With a quote, I will make the floor open for you to have a thought. I always state that with less maintenance, machinery is available to operate longer. That means said, with less intervention, with less stops to the machinery, with less manual intervention, machinery is going to operate as long as possible. So thank you very much for your patient hearing.